Hi, this is Rebecca, and as always, I'm here to support you as you bring seeking to completion and free yourself from the self-improvement trap. So today, first of all, I'd like to address what I mean even by the self-improvement trap. So if you have been really a seeker and working on yourself and doing all these things to think that you're going to better yourself and raise your vibration and all these other things, I invite you to check and see what the source of that movement is and if it's actually serving you in the way that you may have thought it was. So here's what I mean by that. Your starting point, your natural state, is already more than enough, is already whole, complete, perfect, infinite, boundless love. So when you feel that you are something other than that, then because you're overlooking it or unaware of it in some way, looking away from it, then the ego has a tendency to take up a quest, right? To go try to make you into something more, something better. Even if you interpret that in a very spiritual way and you think, oh, I'm not working on anything to better my, I'm not trying to get a Ferrari or anything like that. I just want enlightenment. Still check and see if that's something that you're pushing toward, or whether it's something that's just beckoning you and there's a natural unfoldment occurring. And that's one way you can really tell what's happening, is anything that you feel that you're having to push yourself toward, then chances are that's, your ego has some idea that you're less than what you need to be and you need to somehow go get something more, go be something more. Whereas when you just feel that you're following gently this beckoning forward that's happening for you to just naturally bloom and unfold, then that's where the real growth happens. It isn't gotten by pushing. And even by growth, what I really mean is just a revealing of what's already there. Another way you can tell if you're in a self-improvement trap is, do you just find yourself ending up with a higher and higher bar for finding it easier and easier to fall into judging yourself, right? So do you suddenly have more and more and more ideas and standards about what you should and shouldn't do and what you are and aren't supposed to feel? So those aren't in alignment with your natural state either. So the same way that a rosebud starts as a bud and then blooms into a full-bloomed rose, just doing that naturally, not because the bud considers itself wrong and thinks that it needs to become something different or something more. It just cooperates with that natural process. The same way a caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly by thinking that something's wrong with being a caterpillar, right? The caterpillar just surrenders to that natural process in which the caterpillar doesn't get the goal to be a butterfly and work real hard to go get some wings and put them on and get them to stick on and become a butterfly successfully. It's not what happens at all. The caterpillar already contains everything that will ever be a butterfly. And the caterpillar just yields to that natural process of going in the cocoon, of basically disappearing, turning into goo, and then allowing the emergence of the butterfly. So whatever you've conceived of as what you think you are now and what you think you need to be, I invite you to step back and Let the judgments fall away. Let the expectations fall away. And find out what it's like for you to start to surrender to the natural unfolding of that process, rather than getting caught up in an ego-driven quest where even enlightenment is just one more prize that your ego thinks is finally going to make you enough. So no matter what you're doing, just check for what that starting point is. Is the starting point that you're whole, complete, and already more than enough, and there's just something that's blooming and something that you're expressing? And is the movement one of a push from behind, or is it just following that beckoning? And that starting point, is it, as I said before, that you're already whole and complete and more than enough? But things may seemingly change externally because now there's just more of an expression and a blooming of that and an unfolding of that? Or is the starting point that there's something wrong with what you are now, you're less than, not enough in some way, and so there's something else, and since that's wrong and that you're rejecting it and sending yourself on a quest to become something else? So just keep an eye on that. Just check for it and see what's going on, because then your noticing of it immediately allows you to readjust, to shift, to let yourself move back into that place of surrender to your own natural process. So explore that. Be curious and kind and gentle with yourself. Let me know how it goes. I love you, and I'll see you soon.